Welcome to House of Sovereignty, a space for women who are ready to come back to themselves in love, relationships, and life. I'm Marla Martinson, matchmaker, coach, and intuitive. And in each episode, I'll be sharing stories, insights, and a little bit of magic so you can start seeing things more clearly, trusting yourself more deeply, and experiencing love in a different way. Hello, welcome back to House of Sovereignty. In this episode, I'm going to talk about psychic curiosity and spiritual transformation and some things that I've learned from doing TikTok lives, mediumship, and dive into some questions that truly change us. So I've been spending a lot of time lately doing mediumship readings and psychic readings on TikTok Live. I wanted to share some thoughts about it. It's been a lot of fun. I'm trying to grow my followers. I'm trying to get up to 5,000 followers because I'm also doing TikTok affiliate shop where I talk about products and add a link and eventually maybe make some sales on there. It's kind of a fun side gig that's very creative that I've decided to give a shot. I started it in around April 20th, and I think I've had 6 sales since then. So, yeah, I've made about $15. But that aside, one way to build a following is to go live and live stream, and then people come on and I give free readings, I pull some cards, and I love it when people want to connect with a loved one from the other side. And so it's just a pleasure to help people know that their loved ones are, they are with you and they are cheering you on and they are okay. So if you've ever been on a live, comments fly by so quickly. There could be hundreds of people watching and they're all posting questions, hoping I'll notice theirs. And what fascinates me isn't just the energy, but it's the questions. So every evening I see people who are deeply missing someone they love, a mother, a father, a husband, a wife, a best friend. They just, a lot of times they say, I just lost my mother 3 months ago. I want to know if she's okay. They long for one more connection, one more message, a little reminder that love doesn't just end because the physical life does, that it's continuing. And those are the readings that touch my heart the most because spirit will come through with something meaningful, some unique information that only that family or that person would recognize. And when that happens, you can kind of feel a little healing begin. And one night recently, I found myself drawn again and again, to those people. And because there's a lot of questions scrolling by, and some people will want me to pull tarot cards, and they'll want me to. The questions will be, is Eric going to call me tonight? Is my ex going to come back? Am I getting back together with my husband? Does Jared have romantic feelings for me? These kind of questions that are very fortune-telling, kind of lower chakra questions. It's mostly very interesting. So many people wondering if they're going to be getting back with their ex, or wondering if the person they've gone no contact with is going to contact them. A lot of those. And I'm not so drawn to those. I know they need some encouragement and some help and some love sent to them. I know what it feels like. But what I'm drawn to are those mediumship questions when we want to connect with spirit and get some real deep healing and messages coming through with something meaningful, So it's those questions, is he still thinking about me and stuff? When we're hurting, it feels comforting maybe to have a psychic say, yes, he's going to call, or, we want somebody to tell us what's happening, but I can't read someone else's mind. I don't know somebody else's intentions. And honestly, trying to predict whether someone will text you tomorrow just doesn't bring me much joy. And at that point, I'd be simply guessing, really. And I love being a medium. So the questions that I love are different. So the kind of questions that I love are, what do my spirit guides want me to know? What message do I need to know today? What do I need to understand as I step into this next chapter of my life? Those questions open a doorway. They invite wisdom instead of prediction, and they shift the focus away from changing someone else and back towards our own healing and growth. And that's where I believe the real magic begins. So people will sometimes ask what it's like to have a reading, and with me, every reading's unique because every person and every family is unique, but there are a few things that are always the same, and I love doing readings in the evening. There's something just peaceful and more magical about that time of day. I'll light a candle. We take a moment to breathe together, ground ourselves. We just let the busyness of the day kind of settle and release. And then I'll simply invite Spirit to bring forward whoever most needs to communicate for the highest good of the sitter, of the person that's with me, right? I don't decide who should come through, and I have no control over having a specific person come in and communicate. I just become the listener. I'm the media, I'm the medium in the middle. And one of my teachers, James Van Praagh, you may have heard of him, very famous medium, amazing evidential medium, taught that some of the strongest evidence comes when the sitter, the person that's receiving the reading, has a genuine need. And my other teacher, main teacher, Tony Stockwell, British medium, amazing as well, says something I've never forgotten. And he'll say basically the same thing. He'll say, you're only as good as your sitter. And when I first heard that, I didn't completely understand it, but I totally do now. Mediumship isn't a performance, it's a relationship. It's a partnership between the medium, the sitter, and the spirit. When someone comes with an open heart, when the person that needs to hear from their loved one on the other side, when they're really wanting to connect, there's a great need. Maybe someone's lost their son, or a recent loss that they're just like, I just really want to connect with that person. Something beautiful begins to happen. The energy opens up. Love is already present. And it's as though that spirit has been waiting for the invitation. On the other hand, if someone comes only wanting to test the medium or prove something one way or another, it's a whole different kind of experience. And everyone's entitled to their own beliefs, and healthy skepticism is understandable. But I've found that readings tend to flow most naturally when people come with openness and a sincere desire to connect. And one of my favorite readings happened the other night. A woman's father came through almost immediately. And I kept hearing him call her baby girl. Baby girl, baby girl. And he started showing me cars. And I said, your dad's talking about cars. He loves cars. He worked on them, or they were a big part of his life. She goes, yes, he absolutely loved cars. And then when he said, baby girl, I'm still riding over here on the other side, she was so emotional. She says, he always called me baby girl. Those are the kind of moments that just stop me in my tracks, because that's not any information I could have never known or made up. It's deeply personal. It's evidence wrapped up inside love. Another reading that sticks with me is a woman's mother was coming through. Now this one was on TikTok, and I was on camera, and then the people that the person I'm reading for will text, put their message in the chat there in the stream, and I didn't even realize what I was doing, but I was talking. I was giving some evidence, and I was wringing my hands over and over while I was speaking. And I said, I just feel so like I'm worrying. And I was wringing my hands. She goes, oh my gosh, my mother did that all the time. She was always wringing her hands. She was always worrying. And that's what we as mediums call blending, when the spirit communicates, through like wringing your hands or a certain way you might start talking or expression on your face. They're really blending through gestures, expressions, things like that. It's like for a few moments, it's almost as though I'm borrowing pieces of their personality so their loved one can recognize them. It's just so loving. It's so amazing. And people sometimes ask, do you ever get used to it? And I'm like, no, I've been studying mediumship for years now and trained with wonderful teachers, and I've given hundreds of readings. But when something like that happens, when a father calls his daughter baby girl, just like he did in life, or when I unknowingly start wringing my hands, or, the way someone's mother did, I'm kind of sitting there in awe. And I don't think I'll ever lose that sense of wonder. And this part is, I love this part about it. Often after a reading, like something profound like that, I don't just jump into whatever I'm doing in my schedule. I don't just start, working or go to the grocery store or anything. I actually want to go and lie down and let it soak in and let myself absorb what just happened, the wonder of it. It's not, I'm not lying down because I'm tired or anything. I'm lying down because I'm like, let me just bask in this magic. And I think about that daughter who heard her daughter call her baby girl. I think about the mother who recognized her mother's gestures. And I think about the relief that washes over their face when they realize that love has not disappeared. Those moments are so sacred and remind me why I'm so drawn to this work. So it's not about predicting the future or telling someone whether an ex is going to call them. That's psychic work, that's fortune telling. But mediumship for me is about healing. It's about reminding people that relationships don't end where physical life ends. It's about hope and love and, instead of asking those questions that frustrate me so much, will my ex call me or when will someone choose me? It's, maybe we just ask, what am I meant to learn from this experience? Because if we're doing the psychic stuff, I want to encourage everyone to maybe ask, how do I become someone who chooses myself? And they don't always have easy answers, these kind of questions, but they're the questions that transform us. So if you've been thinking about having a reading, I would be honored to hold that space for you, whether it's a psychic reading with tarot cards or oracle cards, diving into what you need to know now, or connecting with loved ones from the other side. I love doing both. Whether you're hoping to reconnect with someone in spirit or just looking for guidance. As you move into a new chapter of your life, my intention is always the same: to create a calm, compassionate space where healing, insight, and connection can unfold naturally. So thank you for spending this time with me on my podcast. And until next time, and just be gentle with yourself, keep your heart open, and remember, love does not end. It simply finds a new way to speak. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this resonated, I'd really appreciate it if you left a review on iTunes and hit subscribe. And if you'd like to go a little deeper, you can explore my private audio experiences and one-to-one sessions inside House of Sovereignty at marlamartinson.com. Everything is linked below in the show notes. I'd love to connect with you.